We are a comics and collectibles store owned by Kevin Smith. So if you take a look around, you'll see a butt ton of Jay and Silent Bob merchandise, props from the movies. We're also a working comic book store, so we have plenty of those, as you can see behind me. And on our walls, we've got tons of new, old comics. We pretty much cater to every stage of comic book fascination, from the very beginner who is just learning to read from comic books to those people who are high-end collectors, and I go out and I try to find high-end books for them.
We've been in town for 8 years. We started out because Lori wanted to have her own business and get out of the day-to-day corporate world. So we didn't know what we were going to start off doing. At the time, I would go and visit my kids up in Reading, a little north of here, and we would go to the comic book store up there. So we started looking at businesses to open, and she was crazy enough to listen to me when I said, how about a comic book store? And we started out in a much smaller spot. We grew to a second location, or we moved to another location here in downtown in 2020 and stayed there until 2023.
A raging fire devastating this tight-knit Chester County community of Oxford. The multi-alarm fire on the 20th block of South 3rd Street broke out just before midnight Wednesday. Hours later, firefighters seen hitting hot spots while law enforcement blocked off the area to traffic for several blocks. Onlookers stunned by what they saw.
Within 3 weeks of that, however, through the support of our town and our customers, we were able to reopen here where we're at right now, from rubble to reopen in 3 weeks. One of the things that I try and do is when we have new customers come in, I always try and talk to them and get a sense of what they like. There's so many different comic books out there. It's just pairing someone up with something that they'll enjoy. Are they a horror fan? Do they enjoy superheroes? Spider-Man, Superman, Batman? Pairing them up with something that they're going to enjoy is the key piece.
And he's very good at it, and they all come back and say, that was great.
Before I could read, I was looking at and interpreting comics. I learned to read using comics, so they've been part of my life since I was a small child. That's all I've ever known. It was always what inspired me to be creative, and it actually gave me morals, like black and white world of right and wrong.
We have books for younger kids, like the Superhero Girls books. We do Diary of a Wimpy Kid. We have Dog Man. We try to keep as broad a base as we possibly can. All ages comics, and then I have stuff for their parents too.
You give them that physical book that becomes theirs.
So getting the attention span of the young ones, the young adults, is key to get that starting point kicked off correctly.
Do I think that digital comics and online shopping are taken away from comic book stores? Absolutely. Am I worried about them? Not really.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I would say that it's not diminishing as far as sales go. There's not a huge impact. When it comes to the experience, so someone that may sit on Amazon or what have you, or even our website and purchase it and have us ship it to them instead of coming into the shop, I do believe that they are missing out on things. The atmosphere, just coming into a comic book store and seeing the posters on the wall.
It's not the same as smelling, air that, Kevin might have breathed in, or Jay might have walked around and been a part of.
Because everyone that comes in says they'd rather have it, they want to hold it in their hands and have them.
They do have a value in that if I want to take something with me and go, I can read them. I don't enjoy them reading digitally nearly as much, but they do not replace the whole that collectability, that feeling that you get when you're holding a comic book.
You're not gonna be in here. You're not gonna be smelling the comics. You're not gonna be, walking in, the shadow of Jay and Silent Bob. So, am I worried about it? No. Does it take away some of the glamour? I don't think so. I really don't. I think that you need to experience stuff in real time rather than do it through, VR goggles. But that's just me. I'm old school. I love having a comic book in my hand.
I would love to see them come into the shop. Absolutely would love to see them come in just so they can experience it, because they're missing out on things like free comic book day. Well, we'll have people in costume here. Our First Friday events here in town. During the summer and the spring and then to the fall, we do First Friday events where we have basically a big block party in downtown. They shut the streets down and thousands of people come out and hang out in downtown and walk in and out of the shops.
We invite the Kubert School, which is, the Joe Kubert School was founded in Dover, New Jersey back in the 70s, and it's churned out some really great artists and some writers, and it's like comic book college. It's really cool. And it's their president, Anthony Marquez, is bringing some of his staff, and he's going to be here himself. He's bringing his students down to do that as well. And we do that about once a quarter, like once every 3 months. We'll have the Kubert School in here, and they'll do commissions as well. The Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash is very much a community-centered comic store. Kevin loves to give back to the community. He does a lot of stuff around here. We personally, we sponsor some of the schools around here. We give for gift donations, auctions to support fundraisers for them.
And we've had more than one customer come in. Like, we come in as a customer, but we feel like we're leaving as family because we just start talking with them about anything. So, and if they walk out without buying anything, we don't care. It's just that experience. Mm-hmm.
I like to think that we bring a little bit of pizzazz into the town. I like to think that we're good neighbors and we help out the people around us. And that's just like the tip of the iceberg. There are so many other places that you can go in Red Bank and experience fun.
One of the things I've always said is, if we're going to make $1 million owning a comic book store, I'd rather make it $1 million, one person at a time, $1 at a time, and $1 million off of one, because I made those relationships with those million people. That's what satisfies us, is the relationships.
Mm-hmm.